Fox kills me because they just have to make a story or events fit their narrative, especially when it comes to terrorism, and especially if the narrative that they push isn't correct. Now, Megyn Kelly is going to bring on the story about the lone gunman that killed a bunch of people over in Munich. And anytime they hear something like this, it's always Islamic jihadist terrorism. Well, guess what? In this case, it isn't. Now, one thing that you have to realize is witnesses get crap wrong. And they're going to bring on an audio of a witness that claims that this guy is shouting Allahu Akbar, okay? And he absolutely wasn't. Other witnesses said he was shouting xenophobic slurs, but not that Islamic phrase that's often uttered by people supporting ISIS. So where they got this lady from that said that, I don't know. And I'm not going to blame them for it because, people say all kinds of stupid stuff in the heat of the moment. So, this lady apparently thought she heard something and then she's going to claim, well, she's Muslim, so she knows what he was saying. Well, apparently she did know what he was saying because other eyewitnesses basically said that he was shouting xenophobic slurs, but it wasn't that particular one. Now, on the other hand, the latest information indicates that this guy was subscribing to right-wing supremacists in Germany and across Europe. Those are the guys that are anti-immigrants, etc. And this guy, 18 years old, had become indoctrinated into it. That's the latest information that's out there. So this guy's a right-wing extremist, German Iranian, and for whatever reason, Fox loves to slant any type of mass murder towards ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Now, she's going to have, two panelists, and the one guy, Tony Shaffer, he's the first guy that's going to speak. He's basically saying that it fits the ISIS way of doing things. Then the second guy, Magdi Nuaz, he's going to come out and directly counter what this guy's saying, and he's specific with his counterclaim, to the point that Tony Shaffer basically has to back off of what he was pushing and falls back to we need more facts and we need to explore all the avenues, where this guy pretty much had it nailed, and he didn't apparently have all the information that was released by the German police. The other problem I had with this is that Mr. Shaffer's reporting that the German police, and I guess their Secret Service, or whatever you want to call them, FBI, they have been raiding mosques and finding caches of weapons and explosives. If that was in fact true, how come that hasn't been widely publicized? And again, now it's possible, but I don't believe it. That should have made news worldwide. So basically, the guy that did this killing, it's been reported that he did have mental issues. He was on medication, and his parents are, they're totally distraught about the whole thing, but they were the ones that gave out that information. But again, Fox, again, is trying to push this Islamic jihadist terrorism side, where it's absolutely on the other side. It's right-wing terrorists. This guy was a right-wing terrorist. Man, I'm getting tongue-tied. Still got that dental problem. right-wing terrorist that did this killing. Here goes the video.
But first, police are giving us new details right now on a terror attack that has left people reeling as a gunman randomly opens fire on innocent people who simply went to the mall. Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. A news conference just wrapped up in Munich, Germany, where a terrorist opened fire earlier tonight, leaving behind a trail of death that started at a McDonald's and extended into a mall, bringing the city to a standstill. Police say 9 people are dead, many more injured. For hours today, folks sheltered in place as security forces launched a massive manhunt. At least part of the attack was caught on video, and we warn you, it is hard to watch. How many times have we seen tapes like these in recent months? The man in black is standing near the entrance of a McDonald's and then opens fire. Horrified passerbys run for their lives, passersby. At this hour, it's unclear if the suspect has ties to radical Islam or something else. Police are describing him as an Iranian German, while one...
All right, and it is, okay, the German police made it very clear that he didn't have any ties with ISIS, okay? That any ties that he had were, again, to that right-wing terrorist group, and I apologize for not having the name of it, but that group has done some horrendous things in other countries, like I believe it was Sweden, and I believe one took place in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not ISIS, and the news report that you referred to in your broadcast pretty much made that clear. They had already gone through his computer and saw the type of stuff that he was subscribing to, and it was that right-wing group that I've been making reference to.
A witness reported he was shouting Allahu Akbar as he fired, and even targeting children.
I hear this like an alarm. Boom, 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 and he's still killing the children. They make nothing. The children were sitting to eat. They can't run. I hear this Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. This I know because I'm Muslim too. I hear this and I only cry.
Okay, and apparently she didn't hear what she thought she heard, because that's not what the other witnesses said.
We begin tonight with our chief intelligence correspondent, Catherine Herridge, live in Washington. Catherine?
Well, thank you, Megyn. Tonight, ISIS social media accounts are lighting up and celebrating the attack in Munich, the same way they did a week ago when an ISIS supporter mowed down 84 people with his truck in Nice, France. To be clear, there has been no claim of responsibility for the shooting in Munich by any terror group, and German authorities say the motive is unclear. Within the last hour, confirmation at a press conference in Germany that the suspect is 18 years old, holds German and Iranian citizenship, and that a man found dead near the scene killed himself and is probably the sole shooter in the attack. Earlier, police said they were searching for up to 3 suspects based on eyewitness accounts.
Yeah, see, and that just goes to tell you that eyewitnesses sometimes are totally unreliable, because this was the only guy involved, yet you got eyewitnesses saying that there were 3 guys involved. Just like that lady that claims that he was saying something that he absolutely didn't say, according to, again, eyewitnesses.
But after a review of security camera video and interviews, the German police have concluded that 2 others who fled the scene had nothing to do with the incident. Meantime, the Department of Justice here in Washington is offering investigators support and assistance, and earlier today, the Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson told Fox he is receiving regular updates on Munich.
It highlights that we all have to be vigilant in Homeland Security, in law enforcement, really worldwide, and especially in this country with the national political conventions this week and next week.
A terrorism analyst is also drawing our attention tonight to the reported targeting of children at that McDonald's in Munich and also in Nice, France, emphasizing that both Al-Qaeda and ISIS have advocated this type of attack because murdering children leaves the deepest scar in every community. Megyn.
Oh, God. Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Today's shooting spree is the third attack in Europe in just the last 8 days. Joining me now to discuss it, Maajid Nawaz in London. He's a former Islamic extremist and author of Radical: My Journey Out of Islamist Extremism. And Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer in Washington. He's a CIA-trained former senior intelligence officer. Great to see you both. So, we don't know what this is yet. I mean, the latest facts that came out at the presser would seem to push us away from Islamic extremism, and yet the eyewitness says he was yelling Allahu Akbar. Let me start with you, Lieutenant Colonel Shaffer, on what you make of the conflicting facts we've just heard.
Well, look, the pattern matches that which ISIS is putting forward, as Catherine Harris just said.
Okay, just remember, he said it matches the pattern that ISIS puts forward. This guy doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, and the guy on the right, Mr. Nawaz, basically breaks it down why it more than likely is not ISIS. But let him finish saying what he's going to say.
The attacking of children is something of a priority for these folks right now. So we have to look at that as a factor that we have to consider. With that said, we do recognize that people can just go bonkers and do really bad things. But Megan, look, this guy got a weapon, an assault weapon, in a place which you do not get assault weapons easily. And he did clearly, I believe, he did say Allah Akbar, and there was some issue. We have to recognize this guy was an immigrant. One of the issues that Germany is dealing with right now is the fact that they have had this unmitigated flurry of refugees coming in, and what has not been reported here in the United States is the GSG-9, which is their version of Delta meets the FBI, the anti-terrorism unit created after the '72 Olympic attack by the Palestinians. GSG-9 has been raiding mosques and finding weapons caches, and they've been finding evidence of explosives such as Simtex. So this is no small issue with the Germans right now. They're looking at this very seriously because of the issue of immigrants.
Now, I got a question, okay? He's reporting that they're raiding mosques and finding weapons caches and explosives, okay? He's, blah, 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 CIA, so maybe he's got an in. How stupid is it for him to put that information out if the German police haven't put that information out? If it's true, which I don't believe it is, I think the guy's lying, but if it's true, he just peeped the German police's whole card as far as raiding mosques and grabbing weapons and explosives. Okay? He just compromised the German police procedures as far as grabbing these guys. So he's an idiot.
Maajid, what is the argument that, what about this suggests to you it's not Islamic terror?
It has all the hallmarks, I can see that. There are three areas that make me pause just for thought until more information is available, Megan. I'm not going to say it's definitely not jihadism. I'm going to say that these 3 points here that I'm about to mention do and should make us just pause for a second and consider. The first is that in jihadist theory, as something I'm particularly acquainted with, they distinguish between suicide in the sense of somebody turning their weapon on their own body to kill it, and suicide bombing in the sense of turning a body into a weapon to kill others. And if the Munich police reports are correct, that this young man ended up killing himself, that would be something that would be highly unusual for jihadists to do. The suicide bombing method is usually when you try and kill others by using your own body as a weapon. So that's something that makes me think a minute and think, hold on, maybe there's something strange going on in this case if he did indeed end up killing himself. The second is his Iranian origins. Now, most Iranian are Shia, and that happens to be the wrong sect for ISIS. In fact, ISIS and ISIS-inspired terrorists are killing Shia across the world, and especially in Iraq. They believe them to be infidels. So that also gives me slight pause for thought. And the third is his age. The highest killer of young men in Britain, at the moment, is suicide. And so I'm just wondering here, now I'm going to say it's not unprecedented. It happened in Australia at the Lindt chocolate attack, where a guy that did have Iranian origins converted to Sunni jihadism. I was in fact in prison in Egypt for 5 years with somebody who converted to Sunni Islamism from having an Iranian background. So that can happen too. So again, there's another possibility. But if this man didn't convert to Sunni jihadism and remain Shia, it does lessen the chances that this was ISIS inspired again. So we're just going to think about those things.
See, so now this guy's making a whole bunch of rational points, okay? And his rational points pretty much are lining up with what with the information that the German police ultimately released about this guy.
Perhaps getting more information.
Yeah, we need more information. But the other thing we heard is that he was ranting and raving like a madman. He was speaking against the Turks because there's a rivalry between the Germans and the Turks who are in Germany. And, you know, he seemed very disturbed. And so, you know, some experts are saying this seems clear. It's not terrorism as we understand that term, but perhaps just a madman who decided to shoot and kill a bunch of people.
And if it's true he was shouting from
Sorry,
the
that's for
rooftop,
Colonel
I am
Schaefer.
German, I'm born and raised, or something of that, resembling that.
Stand by, Majid, sorry,
my
that's for
knowledge
Colonel Schaefer.
Of European born and raised Muslims is that they wouldn't necessarily say that. They wouldn't necessarily say I'm
Sorry, we're having satellite problems. Go ahead, Colonel. Go ahead.
Well, no, I think you have to consider all possibilities in this case, and this was, by definition, an act of terror. I mean, this terrorized the public, and it met with the requirements, the targeted requirements of ISIS and Al-Qaeda. So with that said, we have to take it very seriously. You can still, they are not mutually exclusive, Megan. You can be crazy and be a terrorist. Zawahiri, the guy, the 19th hijacker, was not mentally stable, and I think that's one of the reasons he was pushed out of the operation for the 9/11 attacks. With that said, this guy could have been a wannabe. He got enough access to actually arm himself up and do something severe as he did. But I think we just don't know enough at this point about what his motivation was. The fact is he basically may have been a mimic of an ISIS attack. It may be that simple.
This guy, Tony Schaefer, he is just unwilling to come off any type of association with ISIS. The guy, Mr. Nuaz, clearly indicated that we need to wait for more information, but this is why I don't think that this was ISIS related. He can't counter any of his points, so all he can fall back on is, well, ISIS is now targeting children. That didn't have to be ISIS it wasn't ISIS targeting children. It was just some guy with mental issues that started shooting. He's shooting at around a McDonald's. And what are you going to find around McDonald's? People, but a lot of children. This guy's full of crap.
Just trying to watch the clues and our prayers to our friends in Germany tonight. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, man.
Fox has got to come off this ISIS crap. I mean, if the facts support it, absolutely jump in both feet. But in this particular case, they ran in here without any information that really should have pushed them into their ISIS narrative, and a lot of information that should have pushed them away from it. And she even indicated that at the beginning of this broadcast. But they want to hang their hat on this lady who didn't hear what she claimed she heard, which was discounted. Actually, it was not confirmed by the other witnesses who claimed that the guy was making xenophobic slurs, but not Ali Halu Akbar. Anyway, time will tell. More information will come out about this one, but based on the preliminary information released by the German police, this was not an ISIS-related attack.